What is my purpose and how do I stay true to it? Oh, that is a really good question. All right, yeah. What is my purpose? What is actually the purpose? A purpose means like that a reason for you are living the life. Okay, yeah. Like what is actually the reason that you have that means you are living the life? Like what is actually the reason? For most of the people have kind of like a reason that ki, like basically is this thing I have a life, okay, yeah, and I have to live my life and I wanted to live as good as possible as I want to be live my life. For that particular purpose, I need to earn money. Okay, so that's why I'm doing this, doing that, doing that, doing that. All right, yeah. So basically, is this a purpose? Well, yeah, technically, yes, because of that, in the end, it's connected to your life. Okay, if you don't really have any kind of like some sort of purpose, then probably is this thing that like your non-existence. Okay, yeah, like basically everyone has a purpose. Like every human being or every species on this planet or every like a living thing has a purpose. Okay, yeah. Like basically is this thing, if you are kind of like a something not doing anything, pathetic and sad, or kind of like a something that keep like none of them use, but still you are serving some sort of purpose. You don't really knew it, but yeah, that is kind of like a purpose. Okay, not the human, but as also the every animal species, trees has a purpose too. Like everything has a purpose, like every living thing has a purpose. All right, yeah. But the question is that key, like what is my purpose? Like what is actually my purpose for living this life? Well, technically my purpose is not kind of like a something very different from other. Same as true is that ki I have a life. I wanted to make my life as good as possible as I want. Okay, for that particular purpose I have to earn money, and for that earning money I am doing this, doing that. Okay, yeah, it's kind of like a something like very common answer, and it is kind of like a something common answer. Okay, yeah, unless if you are kind of like a something person who is something really handling the responsibility or something like that, then you would say that ki, yeah, my name is this, and my purpose in this living this life is for making the life, at least making the world at least 1% better, or kind of like a making this nation at least 1% better, or kind of like a something like that ki, you are kind of like a something purpose, like you are kind of like a some sort of person who has like a very top position. Okay, then you are handling so many things and you are controlling so many things, then you would say that okay, I am responsible for this, or my purpose is to make this thing at least little bit better or something really like that. All right, yeah. But if you are not that person, like that 1% person, 1% means like that, who are those 1%? Like chairman, CEO of the particular company, or prime minister, or president, or particular minister of that particular sector or particular nation. Okay, then you are in that particular, like you are basically at holding some sort of position which is kind of like a something on the top. Okay, yeah, on that particular position you would say that ki I have this reason, I am responsible for this reason, or like, yeah, like example is that ki if I'm say I am the education minister of India, so what would be my kind of like a simple answer? My answer is that ki my purpose of my life is to educate the people, not only the student, but as also the people, to make them or their life at least 1% better. Okay, I am not expecting to be like a change their life and nothing really at all, but my purpose is to educate little bit to 1%. Okay, if I do that, if I get success, my purpose is full. All right, yeah. So this would be my kind of like a something really answer if I am the education minister of India. Okay, Yeah, but I am not. Okay, so probably is he saying that, like my purpose is to make the life as better as I could, so that I do this work, do that work. Okay, yeah, to make my life better, because in the end, first purpose is to make my life better. If that purpose get fulfilled, then I have to move to the other, like basically that key, make the community better, or make the little bit district better, or something like that. Okay, yeah, if you upgrade yourself to the like bigger and bigger community, then you have responsible for that bigger community to make that community to little bit better, little bit something really good. Okay, yeah. But is this kind of like a something purpose for making things better? Like what if like I am the like basically a terrorist person, so what could be my purpose? Well, probably your purpose is really straightforward, that ki your purpose is like very straightforward, means like that ki as a normal person your purpose is to serve yourself, to make your life better. But if you are kind of like a something like very wrong person, or kind of like a atangwadi or thief or something like that. Okay, thief I shouldn't supposed to be count, because thief is a like little bit kind of like a something as a criminal activity, because his purpose is to kind of like earn money by the wrong way. Okay, yeah. But if you ask this question to the atangwadi or something like terrorist person, then probably the answer would be that ki my purpose is to make my religious kind of like a something stronger than everyone. Okay, yeah, because yeah, definitely the people who are actually into that particular community of the people, like a terrorist kind of people, who thinks that ki their religious or their kind of like a something value is much bigger than that, and if they don't really listen, or if they don't really understand them, then probably that person shouldn't supposed to be like required to live the life. Okay, so basically for their point of perspective, like as a atangwadi kind of perspective, they think that ki I like a god sent me to this planet to make, to pray to the god. If people don't really pray the god, then they shouldn't supposed to be required to live, so you have authority to kill those people. Okay, so this is what their purpose, so that's why they are kind of like attacking this, attacking that, and stuff like that. Okay, basically this is kind of like a some sort of mentality is equivalent to the people as also. Okay, like people who are not really educated, or people who are kind of like a thought that ki their religious point of perspective is kind of like a something very higher than that. Why am I putting the religious point of perspective over here? Like a like this question is very solid, very kind of like a clear. It's not kind of like a, why are you include the religious thing? Well, it's kind of like a something very like okay, it's kind of like a something very common. Okay, let me example to you. Okay, yeah. So there is no god. Okay, there is nothing really at all. No one is actually created, nothing really at all. Okay, yeah. Like at the reality point of perspective, it's a universe who created the entire universe, and as also you. Okay, first thing. Another thing is that ki, as a human who can't like basically who can imagine things. Okay, what is actually imagine thing? Imagine things like I don't know. I wanted to get much more deeper into that subject, but like let's just get into the subject. Okay, yeah. I just wanted to understand what is exactly the point of perspective of the atangwadi, or kind of like a people who want to kill the person. Like what is their thought process? Why does they kill other people? All right, yeah. So I'm kind of like a something really doing the thought process regarding about the approximation and regarding about the information that I have. All right, let's go. First of all is that ki the people who want to kill another people at this moment, like at this age, or at this like I'm talking about in 2024, then probably killing the people is not good thing, it's an illegal thing. Okay, like if you are living in every country, you won't be able to kill another person. That is true, right? Yeah. But why does people kill that? Is because of that their anger. Yeah, first of all, the required thing is anger. Okay, another thing is that ki like the people who kill, they are kind of like a less educated, required about some certain stuff. Okay, And another thing is that ki they are hurtful of about some certain stuff. Okay, what exactly is this thing? I can't understand. All right, yeah, first of all, anger is a kind of like a something really a issue. Obviously, I get angry with that particular person, I wanted to kill that person, and I actually kill that person. That means I have this anger thing. All right, yeah, anger is a kind of like a something emotion that we have, which can triggered by particular subjects or particular kind of like a something really opinion or particular kind of like a something problem. Example, okay, so there is a guy, okay, let's talk about rapist. Okay, yeah, why rapist? Okay, I'll just talk about like this is a kind of like a something person. I just wanted to understand his mentality point of perspective. Okay, because recently this Kolkata RGKar college thing happened, so I just wanted to understand that particular guy. Okay, by the way, the person who raped that name, like the person who raped that girl, the criminal, the name is Sanjay Roy. All right, yeah. So I just wanted to understand his point of perspective. All right, so how and why he killed that particular person. All right, so first of all is that anger. Yeah, I already mentioned anger is the first important thing. Is a kind of like a something emotion who kind of like a something come something really want to do the action required about killing and some sort of stuff. Okay, yeah, so anger is one of them. All right, yeah, but for the anger, like you won't be able to get anger without any reason. You need a particular reason, and that reason is came from situation surrounding and situation surrounding and the thought process, the mentality. All right, yeah. So what exactly is this, like what is exactly this criminal activity and why he does that? It's a very like a really not that good thing, but why does he do that? Okay, most of the people, like the people who are actually kind of like based on the criminal activity, okay, yeah, they think that ki they are doing this thing. They don't really kind of like feel that ki they are kind of like wrong. What do you mean by that? Like example is that, like, can you rape particular girl? Definitely not. Definitely not. Yeah. Like I can't even imagine. Like I won't be able to do this thing. Even if someone told me, I won't. Definitely not. Okay. Why? Because it's kind of like a wrong thing. Definitely it's a wrong thing, and my entire core system is not allow me to do this thing. Even if the entire kind of like a people who kind of like a something, everyone could say that ki rape this girl, I definitely not. Definitely not. It's a really 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 wrong thing, and I don't want to do this thing. Okay, yeah, because obviously you ask me. Okay, yeah, and basically like me, there are almost like a 80 to 95% of people who definitely say this thing. No, I don't want to do this thing. Why? Because our 90% of people are kind of like a went through a particular such a surrounding where people could tell that okay, this is the wrong, this is the right, this is the wrong, this is the right. Why? Because our education system, our kind of like a media influence or everything, okay, would kind of like a telling you that okay, this is the wrong. All right, yeah, but example is that ki if you ask me this question almost like a 200 year ago or 400 year ago, okay, like basically right now it's 2024, I'm gonna say 1824. Okay, like right now I'm at 1824. Okay, and person who like there is a girl in front of me and there is a guy who would say that he like just go and rape her. Okay, can I rape that particular girl? Well, probably my chances would be like 60% that I would rape that girl. Yeah, I am the still same person, like I have same emotions and everything, but I will rape her. Like my chances to rape her almost like a 60 to 70%. What the fuck? Like I am the same person, I'm not gonna change. Like basically I went back in time and basically just went back in time. Like I didn't live back in time. Like basically it's this thing, I born in like a that particular era, and basically if that some sort of person is say this thing to me, then basically my mentality is kind of like something very different. Let me tell you one thing. A 200 year ago, okay, raping particular girl, like at that time raping was not kind of like a something really a term. Okay, yeah, because at that time it's a kind of like a something very common. What do you mean by common? Yeah, like it's a very common, like a killing the people, rape particular girl, or do kind of like a, some sort of nonsense thing. It's a very common thing at that time, like a 200 year ago. If I went even more back, like a 400 or something, it's even more common. Like basically the value of the person is really less, very very less. Okay, so basically this thing is that ki 200 year ago, if someone says to me that ki can I rape that particular girl, I would definitely, my chances to rape that girl would be almost like a 60%, 60 to 70%. Okay, but at this moment, can I rape that? Definitely not. Okay, like basically not a percent, like definitely not. Okay, why is this thing happen? Like basically our thought process is kind of like a something act according to it. The thought process is actually connected to the situation, surroundings, and everything. Because like if I say 200 year ago, like basically if I'm say like 1824, that means like I born in 1793. Okay, so regarding about the mentality that I have from that particular era, it's kind of like a something very common. Okay, like this is a kind of like a something very common, and probably I seen multiple times people could do that thing. So it, for me, I don't really think that it's a kind of like a wrong thing, because it's, yeah, like everyone does it, so why not I do that? Okay, so I can do this thing. All right, if you do you understand? Okay, if you don't really understand, I'm gonna tell you another example. Okay, yeah, uh, like I'm not going back in time. Okay, yeah, let's just give the straight example. All right, so in 2024, okay, I wanted to download some sort of movie or game. Okay, how do I supposed to download? There are, like basically just an example is that there is a new game release named God of War Ragnarok. Okay, really good game. Okay, and I wanted to download and I wanted to play this game, but probably it required some sort of money to play this game because it's unavailable on the, like you won't be able to play this game by free. Okay, definitely you need to pay some sort of money. Okay, but I don't want to pay some sort of money. So what chances, like what kind of like a something the possible way that I could play this thing? Okay, you can go to the torrent. Okay, what's a torrent? Torrent is a kind of like a something really illegal. Is it illegal? Like I'm not really sure. Is it illegal or illegal? But yeah, at this moment, most of people are not really allowed to do this thing. So I would preferably say that torrent is illegal. Okay, yeah. So what exactly is this thing? In that I went to the torrent, download the torrent file, and basically I download the entire game through the torrent. Okay, yeah, it's illegal by the way. Okay, yeah, it doesn't really have any security, it doesn't really have anything, like it doesn't really know who is actually uploading or not, because torrent is actually based on the kind of like a people algorithm. It's not kind of like a definite service. It's a lot of thing, I don't want to talk about this thing. Okay, but like do you understand now? I download the God of War Ragnarok game by torrent. Okay, almost like a 400 GB, like a 100 GB of file. Okay, and then I installed that game. I could play that game. I didn't really play any single amount of money, and right now I'm playing this God of War Ragnarok. Okay, yeah. So while am I doing this thing, like go to the torrent and this thing, do you feel that it's a kind of like something criminal activity? No, like still I know that torrent is illegal, but still I access torrent side, I download this thing, and it kind of like something very common to me. Like I don't really feel that it's a criminal activity, right? Yeah, same situation. Like could you understand the point of perspective at this moment? Like basically I am downloading the some sort of file from the torrent. Okay, yeah, at this moment, which is really not that big deal, but after 100 year it might be a very big deal. Okay, yeah, because might be the cyber law would be like a so much extreme than this could not be gonna possible. Okay, yeah, but at this moment I doesn't really feel that thing. Okay, because yeah, it's like downloading the file from torrent. So this is what kind of like a some sort of mentality. If I born in 1793 and basically at 1824 there is a girl in front of me, there is a guy who say this thing that can rape that girl, my chances would be that I would rape that girl almost like a 60 to 70%. Okay, yeah, why 30% not? Because of that key, I am the still person. I do have kind of like a instinct of humanity about this is something wrong, but probably is this thing my nourishment is actually happened from that particular era, that it's kind of like a something very common. So yeah, it's common, I can do this, I could do this. Okay. And by the way, rape is a kind of like a some sort of word which actually established almost like a 50 year ago. Okay, 50 year ago or almost like that. Way before that, sex and rape is kind of like something very common. Okay, yeah. What do you mean by that? Like, what is exactly the difference between sex and rape? Okay, sex means a kind of like a some sort of practice that you do with consent. Okay, yani, like you have to do a consent and then you perform this particular task, that is called sex. Okay, yeah. And probably this is kind of like a something very romantic way, it's a really good way. Okay, doing a sex is really not that bad thing, it's a really good thing, but you have to do the consent. Okay, to that particular girl. And as also while doing practice, you have to be like a very precautious and do your thing. Okay, if you are not doing the consent, other person is completely against that thing, but still you are doing that particular practice like a sex practice, this is illegal. This is definitely illegal. This shouldn't supposed to be called a sex, this is called as a rape. Okay, because there is a one thing required, a consent. If you have a consent, it is sex. If you don't have a consent, that is rape. All right. Yeah, so it is really essential to understand. In 1824, consent is not a kind of like a some sort of thing, like it's nothing, like it's not even existence. Okay, yeah. So all right, so do you understand the mentality thought process regarding about the people who actually doing this like a criminal activity? They don't really think that I did this kind of like a, some sort of wrong. Okay, why? Because of that, their entire nourishment exactly happened like that way. What exactly like basically is this thing, the guy who actually raped that particular girl in the Kolkata was not born in 1819 or something like that, he was born in somewhere, like basically he will get the same nourishment that I get, then why he still raped that girl? Well, nourishment is a kind of like a some sort of different thing. What's the nourishment? Nourishment means like that ki how do you fertile some sort of person. Okay, what? Why are you using so many crazy stuff? Okay, yeah. It's a very difficult to understand. Okay, a fertile means like there is a plant, okay, who actually grow. Okay, the plant to want to grow, it really required some sort of thing like a nourishment, like it required water, it required sunlight, it required some sort of thing, then it grow. All right, yeah. So plant required some sort of thing to grow, as a human required some sort of thing to grow as also, like a food and stuff like that. Yeah, but the plant, there is a one thing that they didn't really have, we have. And what is that? A mentality. Okay, yeah. Like not only our body, our mentalities also grow. Okay, our mentality is a kind of like a some sort of thing that key we actually decide that which one is thing wrong, which one is not wrong, or which one is good, which one is not good. Okay, if you don't really understand this thing, let me example some sort of thing. Let me example. Okay, I love giving examples. Okay, yeah, let's just go. Okay, so have you ever realized that the people like the student from the like basically a couple of people like from the village, okay, they didn't really ask politely, or they didn't really talk politely, they didn't really like politely, what's the politely? Okay, yeah. um why the people who act differently in the city, in the village? Yeah, like can you kind of like experience this thing? Like most of people experience this thing. If you went to the village, people are like little bit polite but not that polite, like it's kind of like something very different culture. Okay, like people thought process is represent the people who they are. Okay, yeah. Like basically the people who actually born in metro city or some sort of that. Okay, or born in kind of like a something very like a rich person or rich family. Okay, his nourishment is really good, like from the beginning, from since they born, they have kind of like a they kind of like a their parents and everything is let you learn what is the really good thing, like everyone say, like everyone kind of like a do thing for you, you have to say thank you, then most of people, most of the child, they say thank you, and this is a kind of like a some sort of like a habit, it converted into their culture and things like that. Okay, like the people who are kind of like a, some sort of educated, they kind of like a, give you the proper knowledge to their child. Okay, yeah. So they just become even more better. Okay, yeah. But the people who born in kind of like unprivileged society or unprivileged, like they don't really have that many educated people or something like that, then they are getting some sort of really wrong thing. What's the wrong thing? Like why? Okay, yeah. So let me tell you one thing. Okay, as I mentioned, nourishment requires some sort of thing. As a plant required to water, sunlight. Yeah. What if like I decided that ki I don't want to give the water? Like basically is this, why would I supposed to give the water? Like it's a kind of like a something very hectic thing. So what I do is that I don't really give the water. Okay, yeah. So what do you think that that plant will grow? Definitely it will grow. Okay, but it will not the grow the way that I wanted to. Okay, it will grow like it will take, like basically if I do kind of like a water or some sort of thing, then probably that plant will grow within a almost like a 6 months or within a year, or I don't know. Okay, yeah. Like I don't really have kind of like a, some sort of information about when the plant grow, but probably is this thing. Okay, if I don't really give the water and some sort of stuff, then that plant, it will take even more time, or kind of like a something like that that plant will not grow, or something like that that plant will kind of like a grow by very wrong way. Okay, yeah. Like this is what happened. Okay. Yeah. So like is it true, like is this plant is kind of like, if I didn't really, if didn't really give the water, then probably it will die? It's a very wrong example. Sorry, I don't know why I said this thing, but what I'm trying to tell you is this thing that key nourishment matters. Okay, yeah. The way that you nourish is really important. In the unprivileged society, they don't really give that nourishment because there is no kind of like a nourishment people. There is no kind of like educated people. They are not telling you that what is a good thing and bad thing. Okay, yeah. So this is what gonna happen. The criminal on that particular RGKR college, that Sanjay Roy guy, who is actually from the unprivileged society. Okay, what do you mean by unprivileged society? Like basically her mother and her, like she has like a couple of sisters, she grew really good. So basically the like her sister is also grew really good. Okay, like one of her sister has kind of like a something like very good position. Like I seen on some sort of like a television or news that her sister was really good in position. Then why that person is unprivileged society? Like why? Like it's not kind of like something like unprivileged society. Like basically her sister and he get the really same sort of nourishment. So why he became something became that monster? Like why? Well, right now, okay, let me tell you one thing. Within a 20 year, or within like basically we are living in this world like 2024, nourishment, mental nourishment mostly actually happen because of the influence or because of the surrounding. Okay, example, like just an example, like I am the kind of like a some sort of children who born at Shah Rukh Khan's, like basically I became the son of Shah Rukh Khan. Okay, yeah. Like I born in the Shah Rukh Khan's son. Okay, so basically I will get very good privilege from the from family, from everything. And as also is this thing, my privilege is to be a kind of like a actor like my father, because of I born in Shah Rukh Khan place. So yeah, this is my kind of like a, some sort of privilege. So basically is this thing, the entire, like basically I'm kind of like a somebody born in Shah Rukh Khan place. So basically I know every producer, director, actor, this and that. Because of that kid, they sometimes they came home, like sometimes I also have chance to go their home. I see them. It's a kind of like basically this thing, my entire surrounding is a filled with a lot of filmmaker, influencer, lot of stuff. All right, yeah. So it kind of like a something triggered me to want to become a actor. So that's why the people who the son of that particular actor became little bit of actor, or kind of like the in the particular family they have kind of like a doctor history of family, then the son and daughter became the doctor. All right, yeah. So this is kind of like a some sort of religious, because this kind of like a some sort of thing happened because of the surrounding. Our surrounding is actually influence the what the person that we want to be. All right, yeah. But there's a but. In 20 year ago, this thing, such a thing happened that kind of like a changed the entire perspective of that. What do you mean? Internet, social media, the mobile phone. what exactly is this thing? Okay, so right now, like basically almost like a 20-year ago, I would say that the the person who is kind of like a something average of their surrounding, okay, which is somewhat 90% of true. Okay, 90%, 10% might be something very different, but 90% would be true, that the person who is actually kind of like average of their surrounding. All right, yeah. But right now, like since this, like from the 2000, the internet came, and then mobile came, the social media came, and everything came. Okay, yeah, things started change. Okay, yeah, right now person could spend lot more time on the internet, on mobile phone. Let me tell you one thing. In the normal world, we could see the world. Right now we could see the world, like this is my city, this is my home, this is my thing. The every information that I get is kind of like something very common, this thing, this thing, this thing. But since you have your smartphone, you get information from all around the world, all around the world. Okay, yeah, like this thing, what is actually this and what is actually that. Okay, so let me tell you one thing, that our mentality required nourishment. Nourishment came from the influence, from the surrounding. Okay, which is kind of like a some sort of a control way to do this thing. Okay, yeah. But there is a world that we are entering, this is called a digital world. In that digital world, you have, you don't really like in, you are kind of like an influence, or kind of like a something really surrounding is your mobile phone. Let me tell you one thing, most of the people have more than 5 hour of watch time or screen time on their phone, averagely. Okay, sometimes get 3 hour, or sometimes get, but mostly 3 hour to 5 hour. Most of people spend 8 hours on the screen on time. What is at least this mean? It means that that person is actually spending lot more time on the mobile phone. What exactly is this mobile phone? Like why mobile phone came in? Okay, yeah, it's that thing, because in the mobile phone you can access the entire world. All right, one thing. Another thing is that you are accessing the entire world through the social media, right? Like a YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, whatever it is. All right, yeah. Then that social media has a have a control of you, that key what you do watch, this that that. Okay, and as also how this thing work is because of the algorithm. Okay, it's a very deep subject, I don't want to go into that particular thing, but it's like that now, key algorithm is actually based on the people. All right, yeah. So what is the point that you wanted to say? In your surrounding you won't be able to, you can control it. Okay, like basically there is a friend, I don't really like it, so I don't want to meet him. So there is a girl that she's not really good, so yeah, so this neighbor is really not that good, so I don't want to talk about him. So probably is this thing your influence that you could control. In social media there are things are not sometimes wrong, most of the times wrong. Okay, yeah, they are actually influenced to do some sort of wrong thing. Okay, like porn. Okay, yeah, like within a 20 year, like a 20-year ago porn was kind of like a something like that key luxury, but right now I could access that, everyone could access that. Because of the porn, is it wrong thing? Well, yeah, it's a wrong thing, yeah, definitely I would say it's a wrong thing. Okay, yeah, because the practices that they showcase was not actually happen in the real life, definitely not. All right, and basically the porn is actually creating a criminal mindset. All right, yeah. So I think that, okay, the people who actually like, basically is this thing, watching porn is wrong. Well, it depends on how much that you watch. Like once in a week, okay. Twice in a week, you are not that good. Every day, dude, it's a really wrong thing. Okay, because of the porn, you created some sort of criminal mindset inside of you. Okay, and that mindset, it leads you to do some sort of activity which is wrong, but they don't really feel that, because in the porn it's kind of like a something very common, because like they are doing just sex, they are kind of like doing this like a basically this thing. uh I don't want to talk about this thing, but yeah, let's just jump right through it. All right. In the porn, okay, there is a two guy who is actually doing the sex. All right. Yeah. This is the very scripted way to showcase this thing, like a stuff. Like what is that stuff to do? What is that stuff to do? They create some sort of storyline. Okay. Yeah. Some most of the like most of the kind of like a some sort of storyline has kind of like a that key, like basically not give the consent. Okay, not give the consent means like that key, like basically in porn world there is some sort of category that key like category that key basically like category of like more than four people are doing a sex with one girl. Okay, that is called foursome, threesome, foursome, I'm not really sure, but probably is this thing, those are category are still exist and booming. Okay, yeah. Some of the porn video, I seen that, like basically I seen that some of the porn video are kind of like a something really that aggressive. Okay, yeah. In that particular aggressive, there is a guy who doing a sex with a girl very aggressively. Okay, and obviously the aggressive means like that without consent. Okay, yeah. So these are some sort of categories, and when the people have watched that particular videos, it kind of like a, they feel like that key for doing the sex doesn't really require a consent, or maybe they don't really know that consent is even exist or not, and they just kind of like do this thing on the real life. Yeah. So this is the way that thought process could change the entire structure of the mentality and people life. Oh my god. So this is some sort of thing, that's why that particular person who kind of like a get really good nourishment from his entire life, but still his mobile phone and like basically the way that he do, because of that he like a always like a criminal is not like basically criminal won't be able to born. Okay, no, like there is like I didn't really decide that I wanted to be criminal. No, I no, definitely not. But there is some sort of reason behind it to kind of like it took me to that particular step to become a criminal activity. And sometimes I took step when I know or I don't know. Means like that ki like I am watching a porn, so basically it's just saying that ki like basically I'm not doing wrong, so basically I watch the porn, so I started watching porn. Okay, I watching porn every day, sometimes like basically morning this and that and that. Okay, then after I watch porn I realized that ki what if I do some sort of thing. So basically it's this thing that ki I went to basically brothel. What's a brothel? Brothel means like that ki like there is a particular girl who is actually have a consent to do sex, you have to give some sort of money. Okay, so I went to brothel and do sex. I did sex. I feel really good. I get really addicted. I went another day. I went another day. I went another day. But still, I don't really have money. So how do I supposed to do that? Well, I am really addicted with this thing, with this sex thing. So how do I supposed to do that? So I found there is a girl who is actually lying on the bed, and the entire atmosphere is kind of like something really alone. So why not I do that? Okay, yeah, in the brothel it's kind of like a something same situation. I just knock the door and I just do the thing. Yeah, basically he did thing. And then after that, basically then I realized that key that girl was actually resisting too much, so probably I required to let her die. Because of that, if she was like a not kind of like a something really stop, or not kind of like a something that she would say something of my name, so probably it required me that कि हाँ चलो इसको मार ही देते ना, so let's just kill her. Than that, I became the criminal because I watched the porn. Because I watch, and how do I watch porn? because I seen the half naked bikini girl on the Instagram post or Facebook post. Dude, like this is some sort of wrong. Like, should I supposed to like quit the social media and stuff like that? Well, basically, if you are kind of like a quitting the social media because of this thing that ki, the porn is Instagram and Facebook and kind of like a YouTube is actually showing me this stuff, it kind of like lead me to the criminal activity, so I have to end this thing, like I have to quit the social media and stuff like that. This would be a kind of like a some sort of like a final solution that I have. Is it a solution? Like, is this a kind of like a some sort of solution? Like, probably porn never be stopped, Facebook, social media never be stopped. It will be always be increased even more better. Like there is like after the Instagram, there is some sort of app who kind of like a showing this, showing that, whatever what it is. Okay, internet is filled with a lot of things, lots of things, and I'm talking about 2024. By the way, AI, artificial intelligence came. Okay, like basically, if you want to kind of like make a bikini girl, you don't really require a girl. You just kind of like make the 3D artist with the AI and artificial, and you can make the bikini girl and how sexy she want to become. You just put the some sort of command and she became that sexy. Okay, you don't really require a girl, you don't really require a kind of like a high-end camera, you don't really require kind of like some sort of scenery and stuff like that. You can make it from your laptop and upload on your internet, and probably, yeah. So we are living in this world. All right, so how do I prevent myself, dude? Like how do I kind of like some sort of control way, like should I end this thing, should I like not using cell phone? Like, probably you can't. Okay, like basically is this thing, if you are kind of like somebody stopping doing this thing, you are like, you are not. Okay, probably you can't do this thing. Okay, so what is that is the solution? Is that key, don't really stop using social media or don't really stop using mobile phone. Use little less. What do you mean by little less? Example, if you are using Android phone, I'm going to give you some sort of like a suggestion. Okay, I implement that suggestion, I implement that solution in my life, and it give me really positive result in my life. All right, yeah. So is this thing that key, first of all, porn. All right, yeah. Porn site is not like, porn site is illegal in India. Okay, yeah. And most of the porn sites are blocked in India. All right, yeah. So basically, if you want to access some sort of porn, you really require VPN. Okay, yeah. So important thing, you have a VPN app, so probably uninstall it. Okay, no, never ever install this VPN app. One thing. Another thing is that key, look for the YouTube and find out that key, how do you kind of like a control your phone to not to watch the porn. Like there are a lot of setting about, go to the setting, go to this, go to that, go to that, go to that, like a family filter and some sort of stuff. If you do this thing, probably almost like a 90% of chances that ki you won't be able to see the sexual content. Okay, yeah. As also, every social media has a kind of like a, some sort of option regarding about that key, like what content they should supposed to be show you. Okay, like you have to go to the setting and basically turn on that key, I don't want like a, do not show me that sexual content or some sort of thing like that. By the way, in the YouTube it's not allowed to showcase, on the Instagram it's not allowed to showcase, but probably they are actually giving you half naked girl, which kind of like a triggered you. Still you could kind of like eliminate that thing with couple of setting, like you just have to push some sort of button and stuff like that. Okay, yeah. Will it be stopped? Like at least 10-20%. But let me tell you one thing, one of the most effective solution that I kind of like a use is that, okay, I'm not really sure about the iPhone, but it's actually available on the Android. You have to go to the Android. Okay, there is a setting called digital well-being. Okay, in that digital well-being, you have to turn on the focus mode. In that particular focus mode, you have to select some sort of app which kind of like consume a lot of time, like Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, WhatsApp. Okay, select all those things, and then what exactly happen after you turn on the selection, turn on that focus mode. Okay, then whenever you want to watch some sort of Instagram or WhatsApp or a YouTube video, okay, you click the video, like you click the particular app, the notification says you could use this particular app for 5 minutes. Okay, you press okay, you could use that particular app, and then after that it automatically close from the foreground, from the background too. Okay, yeah, it automatically close. So which kind of like a prevent some sort of battery, as also which can prevent you to not to use even more, which really help you to kind of like endless scrolling and stuff like that. So you will not get addicted, because if you still want to use this thing, you have to press this app and press this 5 button, and then yeah. So basically using after the 5 minute it kind of like a stop. So if you try this thing at least 3 times or 4 times, after that you won't be able to do this thing, because if that key it automatically close, that means at the fifth time you decided that nahi chalo, like basically I turn on this feature for some sort of purpose, so I should supposed to use that. So basically you gave up at the fourth attempt. So that means you use that particular app for just 20 minutes for the day. 20 minutes, that's it. Okay, like a significant improvement. Like a before that you are using Instagram app for almost like a 2 hour, right now you are using just 20 minutes. Yeah, this is really good. Okay, yeah. Okay, and as also another thing is that find a purpose. Okay, yeah. What exactly is this thing? You are watching social media, you are watching this, you are watching porn, is because of that ki you have nothing to do. Okay, yeah. What do you mean by nothing to do? Like basically, I'm going to the office. I go to this. Like basically, why are you saying I'm nothing to do? Like I don't have nothing to do. Well, let me tell you one thing. Nothing to do means like that. Ki the yeah, basically, if you are kind of like a have a job and things like that, you are kind of like a safe. Okay, yeah. But the most of people who are kind of like addicted with that particular thing, 90% of chance they are kind of like a some sort of that ki they are not doing a job, or they are not doing a proper study. Okay, yeah, they are going to those classes, but they are just kind of like using social media. So yeah, instead of that, just focus on that study. Okay, yeah. If you are not good with the study, you don't know what is exactly your teacher say this thing, probably is this thing like the teacher are actually telling you the only one way of teaching. What's the only one way of teaching? Okay, you think that ki if you want to learn some sort of thing, you require to read a book. It's only one way to getting information. Okay, there are four ways to get the information in your inside your brain. What's the four ways? First of all, first way is that reading a book. Okay, reading a newspaper, reading a things is a kind of like a one way to get the information or consume the information. Another information is that by audio. Okay, yeah, like basically like you get the information by the audio, like someone would say, someone would this, someone would say, then you kind of like heard that thing. That is the second way. Another way is that visual. Visual means like a visual plus audio, like basically YouTube video tutorial. These are kind of like a something like that, a third way to get the information or get some sort of thing. Fourth way is activity. What's the activity? Activity means like that you are kind of like doing this thing by yourself, and kind of like a finding that particular problem, and you want to figure it out. Example is that ki I just want to learn Photoshop, so why would I supposed to go to the manual and read about this thing? No, like basically I just try this thing, I find some sort of error, I fix that error and try to do this thing. So basic, these are the four way of method. First way of method, reading. Another way of method, audio. Third way of method, like a visualize, and kind of like a audio. Okay, like visualize means like you visualize and listen some sort of stuff. And fourth way is doing it. Okay, yeah. In our education system, I'm talking about the Indian education system point of perspective. In the education system point of perspective, they are actually telling you only one way of education, just reading a particular stuff. Okay, let me tell you one thing. You are not good with the study. You are really good with the study, but you don't know that there is some sort of a way to get information. Okay, so you have to find that thing. Like basic example is that ki you are stuck with the IC engine, four stroke IC engine cycle. You don't know what exactly is this thing. Like basically I have kind of like an entire essay about in the book. I can't even understand. Like basically while I was reading it, kind of like every word is actually went out from my head and I can't even understand. All right, yeah, this is what happened because of we have kind of like a very less attention span. Why we have very less attention span? Because of the videos and because of the Instagram reels and stuff like that. Our attention span is become very less and less. So probably while reading a book, we can't even imagine. So it is really essential to, if you don't really understand the IC engine work, then probably you have to go to the YouTube and search about IC engine animation cycle. Then probably you could, there are multiple things. Okay, you just have to see it and look through it and basically find out that oh, there is a suction, compression, power and exhaust, and these are kind of like a something thing. When you visualize that thing, this is what happened in the engine, then probably you could probably describe in your word. Okay, this is what it is, dude. Okay, yeah. So you are not with the good with the study. You are kind of like a something like that of people who don't really teach you another way of teaching. Okay, so this is what kind of like a some sort of problem. Okay, so it is lot of thing, dude. So, dude, dude, just like you talk about everything, but there is only one question: is that what is exactly my purpose? Like my purpose for that particular. You explain like entire world. Like what the fuck? Just tell your purpose now. Like why are you telling this, that, rapist mind, criminal activity, perspective? What the fuck, dude? Just give the answer, the fucking answer. What's your purpose? Make my life better. For that, I am taking photos, uploading photos on the YouTube platform, and and basically I'm not really earning any money, but still, is that I hope that have I would be earn money from it. Okay, so this is my purpose, to make my life little bit better. And as also I'm working on some sort of app, and I will make app. Okay, so this is my purpose. That's it. Nah, the answer should be like this, not that kind of like a something this and stuff like that. Like basically, who are you? Like who do you think that you are? Kind of like a some sort of like a like a person who is actually giving the speech from hundreds of people. Like do you think that like basically, just example is that right now you are talking from almost like a 53 minute. Who do you fuck should supposed to listen for you for 53 minutes? Just 53 minutes. Okay, so I don't know, like basically I didn't really talk for the people, I just talk for myself. Like this is a self-talk. Alright, yeah. So I don't know, like I have so many things to say, so that's why I say it. Alright, yeah. I don't really care who is actually listening this thing or not. Alright, I should supposed to be end here. This is it, and thank you.